for the Republican nomination for the U.S. House of Representatives representing Maryland's 8th Congressional District. That's Van Holland. Is that a cheer for Van Holland? Okay, just making sure. He is principal of Stern & Associates, a general practice law firm in Montgomery County, and owner of Peninsula Settlements, a real estate settlement company. Give a hand for Bruce Stern.
It is absolutely great to see so many American patriots out here today. Does anyone want to see Chris Van Hollen lose this November? As Ed said, my name is Bruce Stern. I'm an attorney here in Montgomery County. I'm a small business owner here in Montgomery County. I'm a taxpayer here in Montgomery County. I'm also husband and father of 3 children who are with me here today, 13, 10, and 7. I brought with me today an alarm clock. This clock is symbolic of the fact that the American people need to wake up to the financial insanity taking place in Washington. This Congress, led by Nancy Pelosi and Maryland's own it gets worse. And Maryland's own Steny Hoyer and Chris Van Hollen is leading this country to financial ruin. And if it's not for our sake, then it should be for our children's sake that we wake up and reverse the path to financial oblivion that we're being led down by this Congress and administration. 2 years ago, our national debt stood at an astounding $9 trillion. A number so large it's practically incomprehensible. Today, the national debt, just 2 years later, is $12.6 trillion. And if that's not bad enough, next year they expect the national debt to exceed $14 trillion. When, may I ask, will this madness end? And while this country is wallowing in more red ink than it's ever seen before, what does this Congress and administration do? They spend more and pass the most expensive health care bill probably known to man. Now our favorite, Nancy Pelosi, and her cohorts in Congress tell us that this health care bill is only going to cost us $1 trillion. They also tell us that it's going to bring down the deficit. Does anybody here today believe that? Former Fed Chairman Alan Greenspan stated last week that if the Democrats are wrong, and I think they're all wrong, in their estimates of health care, the consequences are going to be very severe. Let me repeat that. The consequences are going to be very severe. What the former Fed chairman is telling us is that if the CBO was wrong in its cost estimates of that health care bill, this country faces financial catastrophe.
That's right.
In passing this legislation, Congress has put my children at risk, they've put your children at risk, and they've put the future of this great nation at risk. The Democrats claim that passing health care legislation was the moral and right thing to do. However, it is neither moral nor right to jeopardize the financial future of this country and put this nation at risk. To the contrary, I believe the moral thing to do, the right thing to do, would have been for this Congress and the administration to focus on restoring the economy and putting Americans back to work. 7 million Americans have lost their jobs in this recession. And what did Congress do? They spend their time and energy on health care. Ladies and gentlemen, It is the Democrats, not the Republicans, who are the party of no.
That's right.
They have said no to jobs. They have said no to economic recovery. They have said no to lower taxes. They have said no to promoting the fundamental business principles that have made this country so great. The alarm clock I brought, I know you can't see it from there, is a Mickey Mouse clock. And Mickey is symbolic of the fact that the Democrats are living in fantasy land if they think that the American people will stand for more spending, higher taxes, and more government bailouts. This November, let us introduce the Democrats to a new land, Tomorrowland, a land and time when the American people decide that time is up for this Congress and its reckless and free-spending ways. The American people want representatives in Congress who listen to them, are fiscally responsible, and who will safeguard the free market economy that has made this country great for nearly 250 years. According to a March Gallup poll, 84% of the American people disapprove of Congress. 84%. And the best way for you and the rest of Maryland to voice your discontent is to vote out congressional leaders like Steny Hoyer, Nancy Pelosi, and Chris Van Hollen. And those congressional leaders need to be replaced by fiscal conservatives like me and you who understand what is important to this nation and its future, who understand that we must put Americans back to work, cut taxes, and reduce federal spending. Americans want change, and change can start here in Maryland and here in Maryland's 8th Congressional District. Thank you, good night, and God bless the United States.